Hi, my name is Solo P1 and this is episode 25 of the Flaming Tarmac. Solo P1, my opinion. Thank you. I know, thank you. I'm back. I told you I'll be back. Thank you. Now, this guy I'm going to talk about, this is so-called journalist. He calls himself a journalist. An expert in Formula One. Everybody's an expert in Formula One. Suddenly, even these new fans. But this guy keeps talking. He persists to have debates with people online. But this guy, Karun, never won anything in his career. Never won a title, never won a race in Formula One. But he's the expert. Fair enough. In his own delusional world, he's the expert. So, he comes out on Planet F1 today. He come out and he said, Massey was screwed in Abu Dhabi, in the Abu Dhabi final. He said Massey was screwed. Now, I don't know where he's going with this story. I'm not sure if when he spoke to Planet F1, he was high on something, because even the Red Bull fans, I've never heard the Red Bull fans say that Massey was screwed over. He's so sensitive, Mr. Karun on Sky Sports F1. The guy who's never, ever, ever won anything in his entire career. In his entire career. Nothing. But like I said, it's always the people in Formula One, the so-called experts who has never, ever won a race, think they know everything. And that's Karun for you. Now, enough of that idiot. Now, let's move on. Now, on to the real news. Haas finally put their notice out today. They didn't wait. They didn't put the notice out and say we're going to be unveiling the car in 2 weeks' time, 3 weeks' time, 4 weeks' time. No. Gunther Steiner probably woke up this morning out of his bed and he must have said, fuck it. We're going to reveal the car tomorrow. Who cares? They're not going to win the title anyway. They're probably going to be in the back of the grid this year. Probably. But Gunther Steiner said, you know what? We're going to beat Aston Martin. We're going to beat Red Bull to it. We're going to reveal our car for this year. And you know what? Fair play to him. I've got so much respect for that guy, Gunther Steiner. If he's got something on his mind, he'll come out and say it. Very simple. He's not going to sugarcoat nothing. He's not going to say something just to impress somebody. He'll come out and say it. And the first person to say if this car is shit would be Gunther Steiner.
Damn right.
And that's respect to Gunther Steiner. So much respect for that guy. There you go, revealed. Friday, 4th of February, 11 AM. I'm going to be streaming it from my Twitch channel. The link for my Twitch channel will be in the description below. Now, Fittipaldi. He's just landed himself another contract drive with Haas. He's going to be their test driver for the 2022 season. And I got a little clip off Twitter that he put today. I'm going to show you guys what it is. Let's play it. This is a short clip off Twitter of the Fittipaldi brothers showing that he's excited to drive for Haas for another year as a test driver. And he's also going to be in the 24-hour of Le Mans as well. So I'm going to play this video for you guys.
Hey guys, I'm very excited to announce I'll be racing in the European Le Mans Championship for Inter Europol. My teammates are going to be David Hansen and Fabio Schur. They're two really fast guys, so I'm sure that with this lineup, we're We're going to be fighting for podiums and hopefully race wins in the LMP2 Pro class. We also have the intention of running the 24 Hours of Le Mans, one of the biggest races in the world, so that's going to be extremely exciting. I'm very happy, and I can't wait to get back behind the wheel. Thank you guys for all the support.
So that was the Fittipaldi brothers. You know what? Good for him. I think he's going to be driving for Haas. I think when Mick Schumacher, this is just my opinion. Like I said, this is my show, my opinion. I think if when Mick Schumacher finally leaves and when he goes to Alfa Romeo, I think that the Fittipaldi brother will be a perfect replacement for Mick Schumacher. He's got the experience. He's been driving a long time. He drives in America. He does IndyCar. I think he's done a little bit of NASCAR as well. I'm not sure about that, but he's done a lot of driving in America. And obviously he comes from a legendary family, the Fittipaldi brothers. And to have him driving for Haas would be perfect in the main team. Not just as a test driver. This guy should be driving in the main team. He's more than proved himself. I remember last year, well, not last season, the year before, when he stepped in for Roman Grosjean, and he done a perfect job. It was at that time when Roman Grosjean crashed and burnt himself. He filled in for him in the race the week later, and he was an amazing driver. And I think that's something that Haas should consider for next season, because Mick Schumacher is not going to be there forever. It's a matter of time before he goes to Alfa Romeo, and when he does go to Alfa Romeo, the next stop after that will be Ferrari. So this is where, if it was me, I'd be picking him up. He's more than ready, more than ready. Everyone still keeps talking about Lewis Hamilton. Listen, at the end of the day, right, he's not retiring. He just wants respect, that's all. Lewis Hamilton is not retiring. I never thought he was going to retire. He just wants the FIA to acknowledge him.
Acknowledge me.
They should come out in the public eye and say, we got it wrong. They should come out in the public eye and say, we got it wrong. There's no point of putting it off. Pointless. There's no point of putting it off. Because, you look, even the Red Bull fans know it. Even some of the Red Bull fans who's got half a brain know that the FIA got it wrong. And the more you put it off, and the more you try and say, oh, we'll put it off to practice session in Bahrain. We'll wait till Bahrain, practice one before we put our report out. That's showing that you're more crooked. Because the FIA are a crooked organisation. Everybody knows that now. If you don't know it, you're an idiot. Very simple. You're a first class cretin. Because as I see it, yeah, you got Bernie Ecclestone coming back into the FIA. You got his wife is going to have a manager role in the FIA, and Bernie Ecclestone's wife's going to have a manager role. So you know it's going to be even more crooked. They know, listen, as I see it, Lewis Hamilton holds the power. He holds the power. If Lewis Hamilton walks away now, which I don't think he's going to walk away, but if he did walk away, how bad is the FIA and Formula One going to look? How bad are going to look? One of the, probably the biggest screw job in F1 history, they done it to Lewis Hamilton. The biggest F1 star in the past 3 decades. He's the biggest star by far in Formula One. Look at his Twitter feed. Look at his Instagram feed. And you tell me if he's not the biggest star in Formula One. Everybody knows it. He's got more followers than Formula One. I know I'm repeating myself. I know I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. All he wants is more diversity in Formula One. That's all. He went for the Black Lives Matter. It was a big thing in Formula One. It was a big thing in all sports. In football, they took the knee. No problem. No argument. They took the knee. In all corners of the world in football. They've done it in basketball. They've done it in American football. They took the knee. But only in Formula One, you saw only half of the grid taking the knee. Because it's Formula One. Because they all come from privileged background. They all came up with daddy's money. mummy's money. They've been protected in their little bubble. You go to football, you look in the Premier League, most of them come from council backgrounds. They made it because they're good players, not because they got money. But in Formula One, you need money to get in there. And most of the time when you do get in there, when you got money, the kids are protected. They're in their little bubble. They don't really know their history. And all Lewis ever wanted was diversity in Formula One. That's all he wanted. But obviously the Formula One didn't want it. They could come out with the slogans and say, we support this, we racers won. No. And it proves it now. If the FIA and all the stewards racers won, why are they taking so long to reveal this report? You know why they're taking so long? Because they're trying to make up an excuse to keep Massey there. I can't believe Massey has still got a job. I keep seeing these tweets online saying, oh yeah, Massey, he's going to be sacked tomorrow, he's going to be sacked next week. The guy is still there. Go on the FIA website, you see his name, still employed. Why is Massey employed? And people say, oh, I don't blame Red Bull. Yeah, right. Not me. Red Bull, I don't trust Red Bull as far as you can throw him. To me, they're involved. It's not just Massey. It's a bigger picture. A much bigger picture. And all I want is closure. All the Lewis Hamilton fans want closure. All the racing fans, all they want is closure. That is it. Just closure. Just admit that you fucked up. Admit that. And then we can move on. But he just wants clarity. He wants the FIA to admit what they did was wrong. And that's all we're waiting for. People are going to, oh yeah, you're a Lewis fan. No, idiots. I'm a Formula One fan first. I love Williams. I love McLaren. I love Mercedes. I like Lewis Hamilton. I love Alonso's my favourite driver. Alonso is my favourite driver. And people are going to think, oh, that's weird. You like Lewis Hamilton, you like Alonso. Yes, I can like both. Why not? I grew up watching Lewis Hamilton and Alonso. And they're my two favourite drivers. My favourite is Alonso. I just love the way he drives. I love his attitude. I love his no give a shit attitude. And he says how he thinks, which is very, very rare today. Very rare in the F1 community. Alonso don't care. That's why I like Alonso. And the fact that he's probably one of the best overtakers in the world ever. And that's what it is. We just want closure. And if FIA just come out and said, you know what? We're going to change a couple of rules. And we are sorry what happened with Lewis Hamilton. We fucked up. They come out and said that. Then it'll be dead and buried, finished, move on. Because at the end of the day, right, the season's starting. To me, the season starts tomorrow. At 11:30. 11:30. When Haas unveil their car, reveal their car. To me, that's when the season starts. As soon as you start seeing that first car of 2022, the season starts right then. Simple. And all we want is closure. I'm not, you know what, forget even Lewis fans, just the F1. I think the F1 community has had enough. This should have been dealt with 2 weeks after it happened. 2 weeks after. Now the season is approaching us, the new season. There's still no closure. So FIA, get your shit together. Get closure. Come and say to the fans that we fucked up. We're going to make it better. We're going to change a few rules here and there and make it better, because that's all we want. That's all the fans want, is closure, and admit that you fucked up. And Lewis should be the champion now. And that's it. It's not about bashing other drivers now. It's not about going out and bashing Max Verstappen. It's not about going out and bashing Massey. No. Massey should be fired. He should not have a job. He should be working at McDonald's cleaning the toilets. That's where Massey should be. He shouldn't step foot. He shouldn't be allowed to step foot in a racing environment ever again. And that guy who changed the rules with the aerodynamics, I forgot his name now. Mercedes are going for his head as well. He should be fired. He's the guy what changed the regulations to cripple Mercedes car, the aerodynamics guy in charge of all the aerodynamics for the 2021 season. He should be fired as well. And that's all. And that's all we want. We're not stupid. We know he's not going to get his title reinstated. We know he's not going to get that. He knows that. We know that. Mercedes know that. But we want closure. And put this shit to bed. And let's move on to the 2022 season. And that's it. That's all we want. I thought this season we're going to have 6 sprint races. Because last year we had 3. But at the end of last season, they said we are going to have 6 sprint races. Now, on Planet F1, which I'm getting this from, they're saying now they're only going to be 3 sprint races, just like last year. Last year we had it at Silverstone, we had it at Imola, not Imola, Monza, and we had the other one at Brazil. And they said at the end of last season that it's almost confirmed that we are going to have 6 sprint races. Now it's just confirmed today that there's only going to be 3 again. Now, some teams don't like it. I like the sprint races, but a lot of teams don't like it, and I think they've rallied together and they said, look, let's just stick to the 3 sprint races. Now, I think that's a mistake. I think they should stay with the sprint race. I think they should have more. Instead of having 3, they should have at least 6, because we are going into a season with 23 races. 23. Think about it. 23 races. Practice, qualifying, and race. Practice, qualifying, race. And you know what? At the beginning of the season, it's good. When you haven't watched Formula 1 for a couple of months, we've got Formula 1 back on TV soon in March. And when we start watching the races, it's going to be amazing. But after 2 months, you're going to think, you know what? This is boring. We're having a practice session that nobody watches. And then we got the qualifying session, then race. Same format, week in, week out. What about when we're 4 months into the season, we finally get a triple header? And we think, yeah, we go practice, qualifying, race. People are going to get bored, and people do get bored. Now, for me, they should keep, oh, obviously they're keeping it because they're having 3. But I think because of the long season, they should have 6 sprint races. Spread 6 sprint races over 23 races is nothing at all. It's not going to hurt nobody. It's going to make it exciting, because let's face it, who watches practice? Nobody. But if you have the sprint race, then you have a qualifying to get your grid position for Saturday. So when you have Saturday, you have your sprint race, and that determines grid position for race day, for Sunday. And if you get pole, if you get first place in the sprint race, you get a couple extra points. And then when you go into the race, you got them few extra points. So it makes it exciting. I don't understand why people are complaining about that, oh, we don't like the sprint races. Keep the sprint races, but add more. 23 races are the same format, and I'm telling you now, you're going to get bored. I saw it last season when we just had 3 in 22 races, and this year we're having 23. Some people go, oh, nah, no more. Listen, keep the sprint races what you're doing, but add more. Trust me, it'll mix it up a bit for next year, for this year, because this season's going to be, people think last year was a good season. I think this year is going to be better. You know why this season is going to be better? The cars will be able to follow the other cars more closer. That's why I think this season is going to be better. This season is going to be better because the cars are going to be more closer together. There's no more overheating with the brakes. The key for this season is the floor. The top 3 or 4 teams, whoever's got the best floor, will win the championship. That's what it is. The more airflow through the car, the best floor and the best engine will win. But the floor is a critical part of winning the championship this year, is the floor. And that's the way it is. So, this is Solo P1 signing out. Don't forget tomorrow for the car unveil of Haas. There's my sub. There's all my subs. My Twitch channels on there. There's my Twitter. Come follow me on Twitter, man. Follow me on Twitter if you want to talk about Formula 1. I'm always here. Follow me on Twitter. There's all my subs. So this is Solo P1 signing out. And yeah, see you next week for the next one. Maybe tomorrow, it depends if any news breaks. But most likely it's going to be next week. So come and join me tomorrow on my Twitch channel. All links will be in the description below to watch the car unveil tomorrow of Haas. Let's hopefully it's a good one. See you later, guys. Signing out. Bye.